I am Vinny Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed, just like the woman on the other mic. I'm talking about the beautiful Miss Anna Vocino. Yeah. How you doing?
Oh, I am, you know what I'm deep involved in the internet with right now. The internet and I are diving.
Yeah, you're doing a deep dive right now.
You're doing a plummet, and it's not
Anna
pretty.
is doing what we call producing on the fly.
Producing on the fly. And by the way, the reason why we're doing this is because in the name of educating ourselves about food, how they process food, and how difficult it is to find answers about said food. That's why I'm going deep.
What that food is that we're looking into?
I'm talking about none other than the American staple of government cheese.
Now,
otherwise known as American cheese.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal, Anna. I was always under the impression that government cheese was, people up in Wisconsin, they got a little randy one winter. They made too much cheese.
Yeah.
So they got some excess actual cheese. Mm-hmm. Are we to learn, because I didn't know this, are we to learn that this is kind of like Kraft Slices? It's not real cheese. It's like a cheese product.
Okay. Well, we know Kraft American cheese, and then of course Velveeta. Mm-hmm. It even said on the Velveeta label, right? It's like a processed cheese food product.
Right. Which, let me translate that into English.
Trash garbage?
Not suitable for human consumption is what it should say.
Right. Well, it brings up the issue of processed cheese versus regular cheese. And, we get asked about dairy all the time, but going down this rabbit hole, and somebody mentioned to me in passing about the whole Malcolm Gladwell article, which I will pull that up again, producing on the fly, about how stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut came about from the excess government cheese.
And what we're learning, not that I thought that stuffed crust, is that Domino's stuffed crust?
I think it's Pizza Hut, but it could be both of them.
Okay. I was under the impression that they used real ingredients in those products. Now, I haven't had a pizza from either place. Let's call it, I don't know if I've ever had a Domino's pizza. Let me start with that. But Pizza Hut, let's say the last time I had a Pizza Hut pizza, let's call it 30 years, maybe longer. I was living in Louisiana at the time, so let's call it 35 years at least. Mm-hmm. And it's probably because there was one in Donaldsonville, and my brothers said, hey, we're going to grab a pizza at Pizza Hut or something. Or we came back from water skiing. I was young enough to go water skiing, that kind of thing. Let's go to Pizza Hut. We're all going to stop at Pizza Hut after the softball game. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I remember about Pizza Hut is it was always delicious, and it always gave me indigestion, and I was sorry I ate it. And that's when I was a young guy.
That's when the ingredients probably were a little cleaner.
Well, my grandmother and my great-grandmother both made pizza. Mm-hmm. Their pizzas were never round. They were always square. And when they cut them because they just took the pizza roll and rolled it in the pan and just cut it square. And I know both of them made the dough from scratch.
Yeah. It's not hard to make the dough from scratch.
I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
And then the tomatoes were cooked from scratch. And then the cheese was real mozzarella cheese.
Right.
And
not government cheese.
No, there was a supply of cheese in there. Let me just say, on both of them. Like it looked like a piece of lasagna. It was thick.
Right.
Right. And you wanted one of the end pieces so that you can handle it, because it had thick crust in the end. And if they put, bacon on it or any kind of pig, or, sometimes they would put the pepperoni.
Pepperoni, yeah.
Sausage, they would just crumble the sausage on top.
Right.
Sometimes it had all of it, but wait, there's more. And don't go, oof.
You're going to make everybody want pizza right now.
Hang on. Let me tell you what else they had on that bad boy. At least my grandmother, Tortorich, would put anchovies.
Yeah. Yum.
Anchovies on the pizza, nothing. Folks, do not knock it until you've tried it. I mean,
people get upset about anchovies in this country.
I don't
get. It's a real divisive topic, meaning most people hate it.
I grew up with every fish you can eat.
Yeah.
Including the other day on the internet, we were talking about frog legs, and I ate frog legs weren't a sometimes thing. It was an all the time thing.
Yeah.
I love me some frog legs. But the anchovy, so that's what I knew from pizza my whole childhood.
Right.
You get to Pizza Hut, it tastes nothing like that. It was still delicious. I'm not going to lie. It was delicious, but it always gave me the indigestion.
Especially those personal pan pizzas in the 80s.
I
was a fan. I was a fan. That was a treat as a kid to be taken to get one of your own personal, like nobody could move in on it because it was a personal pan pizza.
You see, I don't remember it because I didn't frequent Pizza Hut enough. Like I said, it was an occasional.
I didn't either. That's what I'm saying. It was a treat to be able to go and get one.
Okay, so
I love your little low key shade. Like I had some trashy upbringing, which I did, But Pizza Hut was, let me put it this way, financially out of reach. So that was a treat to be able to go and get one of those. But when you're a kid, you don't care. You're like, this is awesome. This is the best thing I've ever eaten.
There was a place in Baton Rouge when I got old enough, 15, you get a license at 15 when I was that age. And I was able to take dates to Baton Rouge. I've talked about it. I would set up a roadside stand and sell some vegetables.
Yeah.
Get enough money. I knew what the movie cost. I knew what it would cost to go get something to eat and the whole thing. You take a date out, right?
Yeah.
And so I would do that and always had enough money, always made enough plus. I always said I need enough plus an extra 5, right?
Perfect.
To make sure. I didn't want to have to ask the date, hey, look, can you loan me? Never wanted that.
No, that would be embarrassing.
Yeah, you're not getting a kiss. If you think you're getting second base, you're not going to even get a kiss.
Yeah.
You start asking for money. So not that I learned that, I just knew that I was intuitive. So anyway, there was a place called Sbarro's in Baton Rouge.
Oh my.
Have you been to one?
It's a national chain. I've never eaten at one, but I've seen what their pizza looks like. It looks bad.
It was not good. There was another place called
Sbarro's is the butt of a lot of pizza jokes, I think.
Oh, here's the one that was actually good. It was called Godfather Pizza.
We had one of those.
It was in Tigertown. It was on LSU's campus. It was called Godfather's. And there was also another one that was good called Mr. Gotti's. I don't know if it was owned by Mr. John Gotti.
Named after a mobster.
Mr. Gotti.
We had Shakey's, which they had a couple of Shakey's out here. I think they closed in California. But I remember going to Shakey's with my dad once in Alabama, and that was very exciting. Anytime you could go for pizza was very exciting.
Well, for me,
pizza's an exciting food for a kid.
Pizza Hut was not, it wasn't good. I knew that Mr. Gotti's and Godfather was going to be
better quality.
Oh, it was like, it wasn't Mama Virginia's pizza. It wasn't my grandma Tortorich's pizza, but it was, I'm on a date. I can't bring my date to my grandparents' house. So this is good pizza outside of my grandmother.
Right.
Right. And it wasn't until I went to New York and went to Lombardi's. That's when I went, oh, geez. Okay, now I'm home again.
You're like, oh, okay. I got it.
And by the way, you're talking to a guy, people go, oh, Vinny, I thought you were a stickler about food. Yeah, I haven't had pizza in a gazillion years, but if I were going to have pizza again, since both of my grandparents are dead, it would be when I'm visiting Tallulah in New York and we ended up at Lombardi's. Or is it Lombardo's?
Now you would go to John's on Bleecker, or you would go to Prince Street. But
I'm not going to go to New York and eat pizza.
No, you're not.
Steakhouse.
If you guys, by the way, if you need a low carb pizza recipe because we just gave you a craving and you just can't resist it, I
Yeah.
have 4 different pizza crust recipes between my 2 books, and those recipes also will appear in Eat Happy Italian. And the reason why I put those in is I call it the stages of going low carb, because people really miss pizza. And we have a constant debate in our household, Vinny. You have to rank burgers, pizza, and tacos.
Mm-hmm.
And my rank is always tacos, burger, pizza, because I only eat the filling. I only eat the meats out, and I like the meats in the tacos, and I like a burger and then a pizza. I'm just going to take the topping off, I guess. I don't know. And my husband always rates pizza first, and he thinks I'm crazy for not putting pizza first. And how can you be Italian? You don't put pizza first. I'm like, but I don't eat that. You know what I mean? But so that's why I came up with the pizza crust recipe. So if you guys are having cravings, you can have it. You can make it, take matters into your own hands, but it takes a little effort,
It
So-
does. But wait, and I want to add
Yeah.
to the pizza conversation. We didn't say, we're going to get to the cheese, the government cheese.
Oh, we're the government. Oh, yes, we are.
My mom, even got onto the using sausage as a crust, right? Making a sausage crust pizza. And she wrote to me after she tried it, and she, because my mom is going to mimic what her grandmother did. That was my mama, Virginia, old school Italian woman who didn't speak English. My mom is going to make her pizza, but guess what? My mom will now make the sausage crust and then do what Mama Virginia did on top, right? And that's what she'll make for herself and my dad. So there are ways to have pizza, and my mom will tell you using the sausage crust is much better than having a wheat crust. Now, Anna, you don't have to give the full recipe. Explain people how you make the sausage crust. How does that come about?
Well, I have the full recipe at my Substack, and thanks to Bob Zimmer for typing it up, because he makes the Illuminati style deep dish, and you don't have to do it deep dish if you don't want to. You can just use it, press sausage in the crust. You can press chicken in the crust. You can do a ground beef seasoned in the crust. It doesn't matter.
To stick together. I don't understand how to make. Do you put an egg in there?
Yeah, you put an egg in there, and then you just press it, and it bakes. And then before it's done, you put drain the fat off so it's not completely slimy, and put the cheese and the toppings on, and put it back in the oven, and you're done. Easy peasy. Put the sauce on. Obviously, you can use Eat Happy Kitchen sauces. I don't buy. Here's the deal. Another thing that they've tricked us into thinking that we need is pizza sauce. When pizza sauce is just more concentrated marinara, it has more paste, so it's actually cheaper for them to make it. But you can just use a smattering. And if it's a tomato free, if it's a white pizza, then it's just a flatbread, and that's fine too. You can put on it whatever the F you want to.
Right.
But yeah, so a friend of mine mentioned in passing, Vinny, about this Malcolm Gladwell article, which of course now I can't find, but the idea being the government funded in its own way the creation of stuffed crust pizza, which I've never had, because stuffed crust pizza came out long after I was diagnosed with celiac, and I just have never had it. But it always looked fascinating. What do Americans love? Cheese.
Yeah. Who doesn't like? Don't say Americans. Everyone in the world.
I know, but we will we will put cheese on anything. We're good. We're pro level cheese consumers. And I'm included in that.
Even the French hate us because we will use the crappiest cheese.
Right.
The way we feel is, as long as we can melt it onto something, we're good.
So a little food history that's interesting. Cheese, yes, it stays fresher longer than produce or fresh meat in the fridge, but it still will eventually go bad. So in all of their infinite wisdom, in the 10s, 20s, 30s, and 40s, 1910s through the 1940s and onward, they figured out ways to put ingredients into cheese to make it more shelf stable, to make it more spreadable, to make it more palatable on the tongue, to make it, that like cream cheese rolliness that people don't eat as much ricotta. They eat cream cheese. I know we eat ricotta, but it's in different applications. People like the smoothness, the mouthfeel. Velveeta, even though we all know it's trashy processed cheese, still is it sells billions of dollars of cheese every year. And that's part of the trickery, but also not trickery because they put the ingredients in the labels. So what is interesting about these processed cheese food products is, from talking to Kate Shanahan, how she says a lot of these ingredients over 100 years ago were determined GRAS, generally regarded as safe. And then no investigation into should we be putting these things in our body? Well, we're not going to disrupt the apple cart because we sell all this cheese. Like the ingredients in a totally different thing. Miracle Whip, for example. Mayonnaise aioli is egg yolk. And in order to keep egg yolk shelf stable, it requires some things. But the Kraft people found a solution to whipping and emulsifying a fat with a vinegar and keeping it shelf stable, a processed seed oil and keeping it shelf stable so that they, A, don't have to incur the expense of using real egg yolks. And B, they keep it shelf stable for, I don't know, 20, I don't know. How long is a jar of Miracle Whip good for unopened?
The fact that it can be
100 years.
It could be in a hot warehouse for any period of time and still be fine. Yeah. Yeah. It's
so,
great.
all these issues, and then it becomes like normal. Oh, now they would pay influencers. They do pay influencers. Hey, make a recipe using the Miracle Whip. Hey, make a keto recipe using Miracle Whip. Hey, make a, make a vegan recipe, like whatever. They're trying to get the influencers in different communities to make it and normalize this stuff. And it was normalized for me because my grandmother was the one who was targeted for convenience foods and shelf stable foods. And you'll save money if you buy these things. And now, 3 generations later, we're coming back to if you can make it fresh, great. If not, let's really check the labels. And that's what we advocate here. So back to government.
Before we get to the government cheese, I can't tell you how many times in phone calls, in the consults, and on X, notice I don't say formerly known as Twitter. Shut up.
I just call it shitter.
So people say to me, hey, what's the best mayonnaise? And I'll go, Anna has a mayonnaise out of her. Yeah, I know that, but what's the best one you can buy?
I'll give some brands right now.
Okay, you can
make it homemade, but nobody will.
Yeah, make it homemade. Number one, you will never have it any other way, period.
Yeah.
Until
Eat Happy Kitchen can put out a mayonnaise that tastes like what I make at home.
You're not going to make one.
You're not going to make one. So here's let me recommend. I would love to. I just got to find the right co-man who will do it without bastardizing it and make it taste like my homemade. I like, and again, this is at the time of recording. You could pick up any jar of what I'm saying and read the label, and they've changed the formula.
Yeah, it's that. I'm glad you said at the time of recording. We're recording this in August of 2024. Some
Correct.
people might hear this podcast in, September of 28.
Right.
I'll probably
got to check labels
by then. The bottom line is you got to check labels because these companies get sold to other companies, and on day one, they don't have to keep the ingredients the same. They just basically buy the name, and then they'll change everything to make it cheaper. But go on, Anna.
One brand that I really like the flavor of, but I think make only one mayo that has avocado oil and not any soybean, I'm sorry, not soybean, but sunflower or safflower, is Sir Kensington's. But you have to check the label because it's real tricky. Just read the ingredients. The ingredient list is number 1, not the nutritional panel. You want to look at the ingredient list. Chosen Foods is currently my favorite. Avocado oil mayo. Primal makes an avocado oil mayo. I don't love the flavor. I'm going to be honest. So those are the 3 that I recommend that seem to have national distribution. And if you don't have it near you, I'm sure you could order it on Amazon, but check the labels.
All right. Can I ask you questions? And you can give me short answers. Question number 1. Am I capable of making mayo?
You?
Yeah. Now remember, I tried to make eggnog.
And you did a good job.
Yeah,
I think that you have the patience to do it.
okay.
The
So
problem with mayo that most people have is that it breaks. And what I mean by that is, you fluff up the egg yolk and the acid, right? And you put a little salt in there, or you can put the salt at the end. But let's start simple. You fluff up egg yolk and acid, usually lemon juice is the easiest. You can use white vinegar. And then you slowly drip in, and you're welcome to use olive oil. The issue is when you're using real olive oil, it has a very strong flavor. So unless you're using a mild olive oil, you might find the olive oil flavor overwhelming.
So Villa Capelli, probably not your best olive oil for this.
I don't do Villa Capelli for making mayo.
Yeah, because it's Villa Capelli, it's its own thing. Okay.
It is. And I, again, you can add in garlic later. You can add in, I love adding lemon to it. And you can do zest and juice to make it really lemony. You can put capers in it. You can put any herbs in it that you want. Like
Keep it simple to taste like olive oil.
I use avocado oil. And again, I like the brand Chosen Foods. There's another one. What is it called? Medova or something? No, Medovo. Avocado oil. Well, let me find this. Madhava, Madhava. Chosen Foods, Madhava, and Primal. I would trust their olive oils.
But if I want to make it at home, I'm not an.
You need to get a nice olive oil. I mean, I'm sorry, avocado oil. Avocado oil.
Now, I'm not a mayonnaise guy at all. I have no need for mayonnaise. Never did. So I'm making it at home.
Okay.
Start to finish. How long is it going to take me?
5 minutes. 10 minutes at the most.
Okay.
You can use a Vitamix, a blender. I use the immersion blender now. The recipe in my book gives it for a blender, which is probably what most people have. Most people don't have the wand immersion blender like I have, which you also have to be very careful because my friend has a horrible story of catching his finger in the immersion blender. It's nasty. So just be really careful if you get an immersion blender. Make sure that you don't stick your fingers anywhere near it. So you use the immersion blender and you fluff up the egg yolk with the acid.
But 5 to 10 minutes to make a batch.
That part's only like 20 seconds.
Okay, but the whole thing, I'm not.
5 to 10 minutes is because you're drizzling in the oil and it keeps emulsifying. It's whipping air into the oil as you keep dripping it, drip, 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 like that. Not drip, drip. It's got to go drip, 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 but not pouring it. You know what I'm saying?
It takes a little finessing.
Takes some finessing. And what happens is,
first time,
if you pour the oil too fast, it turns into a sludgy mess and it breaks that way. If you do it too slow, it'll keep whipping and whipping and then it'll break that way.
Okay, so let's say I'm a mayo guy and I make up a batch of your mayo. Right? I know what it tastes like because Serena's done it. It's delicious.
Yeah. You can also hand whisk it if you really want to get a good workout.
Right. But let's not get too far into the weeds. I'm trying to get to something here with you, Anna. How long can I keep it in the fridge? Let's say it's Sunday football.
How long does an egg last in the fridge?
A month.
I would say an open egg would last whipped with all the things in the fridge. I would not keep it for longer than 7 days. Okay.
So if I make it for Sunday football this Sunday to put my wings in, I don't know where people put wings. I make wings, but I don't use mayo.
You put the dill in there and maybe a little cream and make a ranch dip. Yeah.
I do the creme fraiche with the dill and the salt and the black pepper. I got a whole thing for your thing. But let's say I'm a mayo guy and I want to use it on Sunday. I'm making roast beef sandwiches or something where you need mayo. Will it be good for the next Sunday? Or am I looking at it going, I might get sick if I eat this?
You won't get sick. It'll probably be good for the next Sunday.
Okay, so it'll last for a week.
Yeah, I'd say a week.
And if you're a guy that let's say you got chicken leftovers, Serena calls them heat ups. So you're doing heat ups the next day, you want to drag your chicken through it or something. It'll last all week, a batch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So why wouldn't someone spend that 10 minutes? It's much cheaper. It's way healthier. And I know as a fact, it's way more delicious because my wife, who's a gourmet cook, can do it every time. And
I don't know. I guess people are scared it's going to break because sometimes it does break.
Yeah, you see, Serena's
just practice.
Okay, so I just want to know for the audience.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
I want you to now.
No, I don't. I'm not a big mayo guy. Like if it's around, she might make it around Christmas time, that kind of thing, to go with a dish,
Right.
right? And we might have company over, and it'll be like in a little thing on the table or whatever. And I've had it, and I go, oh, I might do this again. I might be able to take this to football Sunday, folks. Football Sunday, I watch by myself. I don't have friends,
So you just are taking it over to the chair.
I'm taking it to my chair. And that's when I do my sausage and cut it. You know what, Anna? Next show that we do on Thursday, and when it's coming up, since it's the beginning of football season, or maybe at the end of this show, if we could get past government cheese.
No, you know what I should do? I'll set up the camera in the kitchen. I'll make some football stuff.
All right. So, Anna, next show, write it down. We're doing what Vinny eats on football Sunday, and Anna will be in the kitchen whipping up easy things. I've actually learned, and I'll talk about it next week when we do this show. I've actually learned, I was out somewhere and I tried some wings.
I'll make some wings.
They had the Old Bay seasoning on the wings, and they also had the red hot pepper wings. And I said to Serena, I said, I think they use seed oils on these. But when we get home, they've given me an idea. Old Bay doesn't have anything in it.
Right.
We have Anna Vocino's barbecue dust, which I use on everything, even ice cream.
Barbecue Bay.
And I can do salt and black pepper ones. I could do 3 different kinds at home, but we could just put them in a convection oven, right? And she goes, yes, we can. She will make me wings. She taught me how to do it. You actually take the baking powder, not the baking soda, dry them up real good, and you use the baking to make them drier. And I know how to make the wings now.
That's great.
I make Anna Vocino. I call them Anna Vocino wings. I do Old Bay, and I do salt and pepper. And then what I do, folks, listen to this. I use Original Frank's because that's the way you're supposed to eat them.
Yeah. And as of right now, Original Frank's still doesn't have any sugar added.
Right. And by the way, there's some other good ones. Tapatia, what's it called? Yeah, that one's good. And also Louisiana Hot. I use all 3. But you might not be able to find Louisiana Hot where you are, but you will find Frank's. I also do, so I like to do what I call the hot and cold. So that's the hot. I also take,
and then you cool it down, don't you?
I take the creme fraiche, and I put Anna's dill powder, and I just whip it in with a fork. I don't get fancy. I just do it right on the plate. I whip it in. I add salt to it because I'm a salt freak. I also put just a little half a squeeze of lemon or lime. Don't ask me why. And I mix that in. And did I mention black pepper? And I put black pepper. That is the best tasting thing I've ever put in my mouth. But and people say, how much, Vin? How much? And I just keep tasting as I go. Yeah. I'm a taste cooker. I taste. It needs a little more.
As long as things are cooked or there's no danger of raw stuff, you guys should be tasting as you cook all the time. Always be tasting. If you've watched any cooking show from the history of cooking shows, the thing that they most often get called out about is something's under-seasoned or under-salted.
ABT.
And it's so easily preventable.
ABT.
Always be tasting.
All right, so Anna, are we done with that? Can we get to government cheese now?
Yeah.
All right, but before we do that,
we'll never get to it. Let's never talk about it. Never mention it again.
We'll get to government cheese after we get to government olive oil. Yeah, the government has, they have their dirty hands in olive oil.
We're talking about the stringent requirements of the Italian government, that their olive oil actually has to be real.
Yeah. Yeah, for once, the Italians do something right. Go fix it.
Some things are sacred.
Listen, Mussolini, not a stellar, outcome of that guy. He went along with Hitler, and he shouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell bad form.
Bad.
But he did say the men shouldn't eat pasta; they should eat meat, which I thought was.
Yeah. Listen, he had a granddaughter or a niece who was in Parliament there in Italy. She did a pretty good job.
She making up for it, her legacy. She tried to
the younger legacy. The younger Mussolinis or
They're trying to
moving
do right.
ahead. Yeah, they're turning out okay. It turns out he was just an asshole.
Well, if you ever want to take dietary advice from a dictator, maybe look into what Mussolini said about meat.
But Mussolini had something right when he said, "Hey, keep the olive oil real."
Mm-hmm.
He said that. He was quoted as saying, "Keep it real."
Is it? I mean, 100% of the quotes on the internet are true,
Yeah, look,
and
I read
100% are also made up.
where one Mr. Mussolini said, "Olive oil is lit." That was his exact word.
Is that what he said? It's
Mhm.
Liddy AF.
Yeah, it's litty AF. Yeah,
That's what Mussolini said.
I'm not kidding. Look, I don't make this up. He was the first guy to use the term lit, right? Maybe
But
he
it's
was
an
trying to.
Italian word. Obviously, he used the Italian word.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I spoke to a girl from Italy today. We should talk about her too, Valentina.
Aw,
Very sweet girl.
what a pretty name.
She's from. You know where she's from? Puglia. And what are we talking about right now? Where Anna's from?
She was
Puglia.
from Puglia?
Yeah, she's from Puglia, but she ended up living in Milan. But she's originally her family's from Puglia.
Wow.
Now
Puglia alla tavola.
she lives in Ohio of all places. So
What?
don't ask.
Valentina, what are you doing?
Well, her and her husband both love the United States, and they wanted to come here
Well,
for a few years.
obviously.
And they travel every weekend. They got a 3-4-year-old daughter, but
Very
she's from
cute.
Puglia. That's where Anna's
I
family.
love it. Did
And
she
that's
go to
where-
Villa Capelli?
She doesn't know from Villa Capelli.
She
Now
doesn't know Terlizzi?
now she does.
No, she does.
She
Villa
can't-
Capelli is the best olive oil on the planet and is not at all affiliated with Mussolini or Valentina from Ohio. Villa Capelli is,
Valentina's not from Ohio. She moved to Ohio.
she's now from Ohio.
Yeah, now she's from Ohio.
Now she's Valentina from
You
Ohio.
got some bad info about the United States.
That's where she went. No shade, Ohio.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think probably.
Could have been worse. She could have ended up in North Dakota. But anyway.
Oh, Kurt, that's gotta hurt. This is the segment where we try and hurt Kurt.
Yeah.
Villa Capelli olive oil, the best olive oil on the planet. You're going to want to get it. Go to villacapelli.com. Here's what I had my friend Carrie do. My friend Carrie was staying with me this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And Carrie just got back from a three-week trip to Italy. And she said to me these words, because she went on private agroturismo stuff. Like they saved all their money and they went on all these amazing private tours of these different places, wineries, farms, you name it.
Right.
And she said to me, I didn't bring home any olive oil because I love my Villa Capelli so much that I'll just order more from them. And we sat at my house and she ordered more. And here's what she ordered. Do you want to know what she ordered?
I'm dying to know.
2 3-liter tins. That caused balloons to pop on my screen. 2 3-liter tins, lemon oil,
Mm-hmm.
and powdered rosemary.
Did she get the Vinny discount?
Here's the thing. We had a discussion about it because there's 2 discount codes.
Well,
There's
the
Vinny, which
BOGO,
that's
yeah.
right. There's Vinny, VINNIE, which gives you 10% off your order. Now, had she ordered 1 3-liter tin,
Right.
I would have said use the discount code Vinny to get 10% off. However, Steven is doing a deal where BOGO 25 gets you 25% off your second tin of 3-liter tin of Villa Capelli. So she did that. Now, I feel like she should have done Vinny because then she would have gotten an extra 10% off of the other things, but it's okay.
Oh, wait, hang on. She probably lost money. All right. So
I think she did. But
Yeah,
if you're just ordering 2 3-liter tins, do BOGO 25.
right, so just on a 2 3-liter tin, she was over 200. And then the lemon oil is how much, Anna?
I'm not sure. Let me look.
We got to know if your friend. I got my computer.
She was in a mode. She was giving a 3-liter tin as a client gift, and she ordered one for herself. She got the free shipping. Hold on, oil. It's $15. And the rosemary's $6. Are you doing math over there?
No, there's something going on here.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's not good. Anyway, Villa Capelli, it proved Carrie wrong. Use the discount code Vinny, VINNIE, and you will get 10% off your order each and every time.
She would have saved more money. Yeah.
That's what I thought. but maybe not. I don't know.
Look, folks, you got to do a little math.
Regardless, you qualified for some free shipping with that one.
Um,
Okay, government cheese.
Government cheese.
We've touched on the broad strokes. Finding the ingredients or the definition of government cheese is very difficult. But I will say, Vinny, you were correct. There's been a surplus of cheese, and then it was basically made into shelf-stable cheese food products back in the 70s. They're back as of 2021 to having a surplus. So in 2010, the government gave both Domino's and Pizza Hut, I don't know if it's considered a grant, a payment, a taste of $12 million for Domino's new marketing campaign, helped devise Pizza Hut's stuffed crust pizza to offload this government cheese. So why, if you're a food manufacturer or a restaurant and you can cut your margins by getting some free product and creating a new thing that sweeps the nation, why wouldn't you? I just thought that was an interesting thing. It wasn't like some guy in R&D sitting there going, how can we stuff more cheese into our pizzas?
Yeah, because they want to make cheese. They want to make pizzas for less money. But if you're getting advertising dollars and free cheese to stuff in it, now, is that a win or a loss?
I don't know.
Hang on.
You tell me. Are we more overweight now? Or
But here's the deal. This is why I tell people, less government and think for yourself. Okay? Here's a perfect example. Is the government looking out for you? No. The government is a business like anything else. They went to two other big businesses, Domino's and Pizza Hut, and sold them or gave them cheese, right? And the end result is you got fatter and less healthy. Hang on, Anna. Let me get my glasses off here. How do I look?
good.
Okay, hang on. The government had a surplus of cheese. What did they do? They contacted Domino's and Pizza Hut and said, hey, guys, put more cheese on your pizza. As a matter of fact, there's some real estate in that end of the crust. Put it in there. Now, the government is now in business with pizza companies. Are they looking out for you? Are they looking out for Americans? Hell no. That's why I tell people, advocate for yourself. Government ain't going to save your life. You have to save your life. Stay motivated. Okay.
Hot damn, that was a good one, Vin.
That was one take right there.
That was good. So let me read to you guys.
Now I'm pissed off.
Let me read to you about American cheese. So the FDA, this is, by the way, I'm referencing Serious Eats, which is a really good food blog. The writer at Serious Eats, this is, I quote, when you're making, I'm not quoting right now, but let me sum this up until I get to the quote. When you're making regular cheese, there's all sorts of processes. You know, you put in the rennet, or you put in the acid, or you put in the things, the bacteria, whatever it is that you're making this certain kind of cheese. Sometimes you knead the cheese. Sometimes you stretch the cheese, you know, curdle the cheese, press the cheese, age the cheese. Those are all processes that are normal in making cheese. Like
everything that an adolescent boy does to his cock. Go on.
It does. So now from Serious Eats, where American cheese, or quote, pasteurized processed American cheese, as the Food and Drug Administration likes to call it, differs, is that once the cheese is made, and yes, American cheese starts with real, honest to goodness cheese, it is blended with a few other ingredients to alter its texture and flavor. The exact details of these subsequent processes are what determine the labeling on the package, and those can be as simple as blending it with another cheese, or as complex as melting it with additional whey, milk proteins, and emulsifying salts. This is what allows American cheese to melt without breaking or turning greasy the way a traditional cheese does.
Does any of that sound healthy to you folks?
It sounds less egregious than I thought it would, because I know that some of these cheese food products have emulsified seed oils in them, which should be disclosed on the label.
When you start melting and reheating and processing, by definition, you're going to have a problem. Now, is it as bad as seed oils? I don't know. I really don't know. If I said I knew, sorry, Bonzo, I wasn't yelling. I was giving Debbie, my dog is upset. My dog came downstairs when I did that thing for Debbie. Bonzo, it's okay. I'm okay. That is okay.
Bonzo's concerned.
Yeah, look, you want to be on the,
Oh, he's the nicest boy. He'd make a good appearance.
oh my goodness. Bonzo, you got the Zackleys. Your mouth smells exactly like your ass. So Bonzo's been sleeping, so I guess you got morning breath, Bonds. Okay. You're good. We're good. Go sit on your thing over there. Daddy bought that pad for you and you gotta go sit on it. Go check it out. Good boy. All right.
He's a
So
good boy.
he is the best. So listen, do I know or think that it's as bad as any other cheese or any other seed oil or any other processed food? I don't know. Am I eating it? Hell no. Have I ever had Velveeta in my life? Hell no.
I don't think I've ever had Velveeta either, or Cheese Whiz.
You know what else I haven't had? I haven't had, like Kraft mac and cheese.
Oh, I probably had that in college, but like the off-brand.
I've
When you're talking about college budget,
yeah,
I would get the ramen or the off-brand because you could get like 6 for $1 at the Piggly Wiggly in
yeah.
Decatur, Georgia.
I had the ramen noodles a couple of times and only a couple of times because I'm like, okay, this is not really filling. I could just buy the vermicelli for the same and just put olive oil on it. That's what I used to do.
I was hunting for whatever I could get for $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me read you the Velveeta cheese ingredients. Milk, whey, milk protein concentrate, milk fat, sodium phosphate, and less than 2% of the following ingredients: salt, calcium phosphate, lactic acid, sorbic acid as a preservative, sodium alginate, sodium citrate, enzymes, apocarotinol, and annatto color, cheese culture.
Yeah, the annatto color they put in a lot of American cheese, make it look yellow.
Yeah. Velveeta also contains other ingredients depending on the type of Velveeta, such as Velveeta cheese sauce contains the first ingredient, canola oil, modified food starch,
Wait, this is
potassium
Velveeta
phosphate,
what?
paprika,
Sauce?
and natural
Cheese
flavor.
sauce?
Huh?
Go back. This is Velveeta what? Cheese sauce?
So the first thing I read was Velveeta cheese. This is Velveeta cheese sauce.
What is that?
I guess it comes as a more viscous, it's a sauce.
A liquid?
Yeah, like a
Isn't the thing about Velveeta that you can heat it up and put it on top of nachos? Isn't that what people do with it?
Yes, but now I guess they sell the cheese sauce.
So you could be one step lazier, just heat up already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Velveeta original cheese listed here, the ingredients say canola oil at the HEB.
Well, what happened to the other one you read? How's it different?
I don't know. I don't understand how it's two different ones. It goes to prove you got to read ingredients, folks.
Yeah, you can't read it once and think you got it. You got to pretty much read ingredients every time.
At HEB, where you can put it in your cart, it says skim milk, canola oil, milk protein concentrate, sodium phosphate, and then contains less than 2% of modified food whey protein concentrate, maltodextrin, whey, salt, calcium phosphate, lactic acid, sorbic acid as a preservative, milk fat, sodium alginate, sodium citrate, enzymes, apocatrinolol and annatto, cheese culture, and vitamin A palmitate. Cool.
Yeah. Does any of that sound good to you? And people wonder why we get sick and what happens. There you have it.
This episode was sponsored by Kraft.
And Pizza Hut. And
Domino's. And government cheese.
And by the way, we're going to be seeing those ads coming up because I see ads only for a short period of the year when I watch football, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see ads all year long because Hallmark.
Are you ready for the Burger King jingle that makes me want to rip my ears out?
How does it go? I don't really remember.
BK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, the other one is
It makes me want to kill somebody.
the one I like is the Modelo ads, the beer ads.
How does that one go?
It's a song that they pull out and they show people at the stadium, like hardcore.
Is that like a haunting song? Like it has like a haunting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was something. I
Yeah.
don't know how it goes. See if we could pull it up, the Modelo song. See if I could pull up a Modelo.
No, let's just, wait, you know what? Look at where we are. 50 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I just read ingredients, and I like to we were talking about food addiction off the air, and like how they also, honestly, they want you to become addicted to these foods. You become addicted to the mouthfeel, you become addicted to the fat, and by mouthfeel, usually it is the fat, the salt. You become addicted to the balance that they have all this stuff. The balance that they have in all this stuff, so that you want to order more and get more and, eat your feelings. They make it affordable. They make real food, whole foods, harder to afford.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder people come to this work and they're like, well, I want to cut out the processed foods, but I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And it takes a paradigm shift to be able to say, no, we're figuring out a new way to stock our kitchens and feed our families, where we're prioritizing this resource to pay for real food.
It's crazy. And look, I'm going through it with my younger brother again, who's trying again to lose weight and be healthy and the whole thing, because his health is in the crapper. And, he was like, I don't understand.
Good for him though.
He called me today. I'm still getting my ankles swell up again and the whole thing. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
what did he eat?
He's having salads with 2 of his meals every day. I was like, where's the dressing coming from? Well, it says it's only olive oil. I was like, Mark, how many times I got to tell you? See, I could be tougher on him because
gotta make your own.
It's like, but it's like, don't call me and then fucking but me. You called me because it's still not working.
Right.
You're still getting inflamed. So don't but me. Shut up and listen. I wish I could tell that to so many people.
I bet you don't even say it that way to your own brother, though.
I'm nice about it, because, he's a good guy. And, but still, it's a little more infuriating when it's your brother.
Of course.
Because you feel like he's part of you and the whole thing. So, folks, Anna's got a heart out, and I got 3 other podcasts to do today. I've already done 1. So that's right. I'm doing 5 podcasts today.
No big deal.
So we have to cut this one a little short.
They'll survive.
Anna Vocino has annavocino.substack.com.
So many good new recipes there.
Go there. You don't even need to get her books, but you want to get her books. Anna, I'm getting up to that season where I'm going to start ordering stacks of your books to hand out for Christmas, because it's good to keep, people I forgot to get that person and this person. You forget about the people that come into your life every year. The key that I have to remember is not to give a person a second book that I gave last year.
Well, you're in luck this year.
You got the new book coming out.
A brand new book. And by the way, I have killer bonuses. If anybody pre-orders 10 or more books, I can't even remember all the bonuses. Go to eathappyitalian.com and upload your receipt there, and you will be added to the list of the people. There are not that many of them. I got you all. You're getting signed copies of the books. You're getting an apron. You're getting the year Substack premium subscription. You're getting a lot of really cool, the bonus recipes. Anybody gets the bonus recipes. It's so good. So you're going to be in luck, Vinny, because this year, brand new book.
Good.
Eat Happy Italian.
I could just hand out the new book. You know what? I'm just going to get a stack of those.
Great.
I'm going to just get like 12, 15 of those. Just have a stack hanging around.
Great.
When is that one coming out, Anna?
October 8th.
Oh, plenty of time. Okay, great. Okay. So go check out all of Anna's books. Check out everything she's doing, annavocino.com. And do you still have the BOGO 25 on your powder?
I don't. It's expired.
It's expired. So folks,
we reactivate, I'll let y'all know.
FOMO, fear of missing out. Yep. So you could get it at regular price. So go check it out. All of the powders. I was just talking about how I use it on my chicken wings. We have Dirty Keto. Go to Amazon. It's the only place Dirty Keto is playing. You want to see this movie. It's the movie.
And write a review. Write a review.
Rate it and review it. This is the movie that's pissed people off. They didn't even want to put this movie up. Right? Amazon held this movie for 60 some odd days and then maybe put a PG-13 on a documentary about food. I ruffled feathers in this documentary.
Great.
So
I love it.
go give it a watch. See if I can play the song on the way out and see if it makes sense. So on behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinny Tortorich. Put life into living and hopefully do it with the Modelo's theme song from football season.